Jackie Cation, Laurie Kilmartin. Jackie Cation, Laurie Kilmartin. It's the Jackie and Laurie Show. The Jackie and Laurie Show. It's the Jackie and Laurie Show. The Jackie and Laurie Show.
And away we go.
Hey, it's just us. You and
Yes.
I.
You're Jacqueline.
I'm Jacqueline Cation.
Kennedy Cation.
Jacqueline Kennedy Cation.
And I'm Laurie Kilmartin.
And you're Laurie Kilmartin. What was I talking to Andy about? I was like, I think only her dad was Irish. And he goes, Kilmartin, you think? And I said, I don't know what her mom is. So.
Mom is Luxembourg, Irish, and Prussian.
Oh,
and
there you go.
English. She got a little bit going from
Also
all
white.
Four.
Yes.
Yeah, very
So,
white. But my dad was all Irish. Like you
all
could trace
Irish.
it all to Cork, almost all of it.
Back to some stone next to the Blarney Stone.
Yeah, I
In a
mean, we
bog.
found one set of stones. Yeah, that were from his his great grandmother. Yeah.
Wow. Well, here we are talking aloud, and I'm looking at levels. Anyway, so many things are happening. I have a set later this evening over at the Improv.
Okay.
And
What
tomorrow,
time?
9:30.
Okay.
Well, it's a 9:30 show. I asked if I could go up a little bit later.
Okay.
So that we can get there.
Yeah.
And I did Roommates for Life, somebody else's podcast today.
Mm-hmm.
They came over to the house to talk to Andy and I about being roommates. Be funny if they did you and your mom.
No, it wouldn't be.
No, you're right. You're correct.
Because the
You're-
coronavirus is going to kill me before it kills her. I know it.
No, the coronavirus would kill her first, but then the guilt would kill you.
No, it wouldn't. There would be no guilt. But I tell you what, I'd get it 2 days later. I'd have 2 free days, and then I would die. I know how much. I see the script already.
You see how it's all
Yeah.
going to work out. Okay. And then, so I get about an hour and a half ago, I got a text message from Maria. Hey, can you do San Diego with me on Wednesday? And I was like,
nice.
yes. I have a 7 a.m. flight on Thursday out of LAX.
Oh, awful.
Yeah. So I'm trying to figure out, maybe I could just go to LAX on Wednesday, get a rental car, drive to San Diego, drive back San Diego that night, drop off the rental car Thursday morning, and get on the flight.
Why don't you get a hotel right next to the airport on Wednesday night?
On Wednesday night.
And then just get...
And then,
are you and Maria going to drive down together?
well, I don't know. That's I tried to call her, but she was in a meeting.
Well, is it just one night in San
It's
Diego?
just one night in San Diego.
And then
at
you
the
go
American.
for how long?
I'm gone to Dayton and then Indiana.
Oh,
It's
you
the
don't want to
big
leave your
trip.
car at LAX then.
Yeah.
Is there a way you can get to a hotel late on Wednesday night?
Right.
So you're going to bring all your bags with you to this one
Maybe
gig.
I bring all my bags with me to that gig,
Mm-hmm.
and then go and stay at a hotel next to LAX.
Yeah.
That's not a bad idea.
Yep. And then you roll out of bed at 5:30.
And get over
5
there.
maybe.
5, and then get there by 5:30, and then get on a flight at 7.
Yeah.
Delta Comfort.
Mhm.
All right. Or I tried to call Delta, but I'm no longer Diamond, so I was not. First of all, they didn't answer it. They said they'd call me back in 14 minutes. And
You're not used to such treatment.
this
I
sort
can
of-
tell. I
this
could see
sort
the
of-
rage on your
This sort of
face.
treatment is not something I am used to.
Like
Anyway.
you're pretty chill about a lot of things, but we all have
This-
our limits, Jackie.
Exactly. And I want to do this thing with Maria because
Yeah.
I think it would be super fun and I could use the money.
Sure.
But I have to figure out. So I want to talk to her. So that's an addition. But I thought I had it set. Pallavi.
Oh yeah.
I thought
Gunland?
I
Yeah.
thought I had a set at West Side with her on Wednesday night, but it was canceled.
Okay.
But so I texted her. I said, "Hey, I think I have a set with you on Wednesday, but I can't do it." She goes, "Oh, I forgot to tell you that was canceled, but you're still doing Sunday, right?" And I was like, "Oh, this Sunday? No, I had to cancel that." So there was a flurry
Oh, my
of
goodness.
cancellations. If you want to do this Sunday,
What-
which is right the night before this comes out,
What time?
it would be at the West Side at like.
Well, she
9.
might have filled it though.
She might have in the
She
last
probably
half
did.
hour. But, you could be the one.
Normally I would.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
but
you're in town this week, right?
Right.
this
I'm
weekend?
in town. Tomorrow I'm doing a set at the Improv. Then Thursday I'm doing a set at the Virgil.
Oh, nice.
Brian's? Yeah. Mhm.
Nice.
And then Friday, I'm doing a set at the Long Beach Laugh Factory. And then Saturday, I do that Tacoma gig.
Oh, with Conan. The Conan?
No. The one you hooked me up with.
Oh, the Tacoma.
Alma Mater.
Oh, that's right. Alma Mater in
Yeah.
Tacoma.
Mhm.
That's this weekend?
Yeah, the Saturday. Yeah.
And are you just flying there on Saturday and coming
Yep.
back on Sunday?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Nice work.
Yeah. So I
You
didn't
live
try.
your own harried life.
I didn't put in for any other spots. I was like, I did 8 on Saturday, and
Yeah.
this is fine. And I haven't seen, I have a
Yeah, you
kid,
can hang
whatever.
with your life. a
So-
little bit, some sitting around.
A little sitting around. Yeah. We're working on it. He's doing another project on the Black Plague. Now, he did one on the plague in elementary school. And
Okay.
I think he's just decided this is the kind of project I'm good at. And whenever I have a project, it's going to be the plague because he knows the fleas. He knows the bacteriums.
I wonder if
it's
you would
pretty
like
impressive.
this book by Connie Willis, The Doomsday Project. It's about this. It's a time travel fiction book
Mm-hmm.
about these people. It's a PhD student who time travel very common, and so for her for her PhD,
Yeah.
she's going to go back, not during the plague. And as soon as they say that in the first chapter of the book, you're like, oh, she's going back to the plague.
Yeah.
The machine's going to fuck up. And so they send her back to the plague.
Oh.
And she's been vaccinated. She's fine. But
Yeah. I am on board with time travel in a way I never have been in my entire life.
Outlander.
Oh my God.
You were on fire with the Outlander.
Oh my God.
Where are you? Season 3 yet?
I am in season 2. They're on a boat. They're on a ship right now.
Right. Has she escaped being raped at least 3 times?
The last episode. Yes.
Last episode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of,
She's constantly escaping being raped.
but also,
But aren't we all?
but there's this one storyline. Well, like she comes back. She's a physician in
Yes.
the 40s, a physician.
Right.
Fucking a surgeon, right?
Right.
This is a highly accomplished woman, and she goes back to find her true love. And you got to go back and find your true love.
Right.
I don't care who he is.
World
right?
War II? She's going back to World War II.
No, she
to find
goes
her
back
to Scotland.
to the Jacobite uprising right
Okay.
afterwards, right?
Oh my God.
20 years later, and Jamie, who's the most attractive man. Holy fuck!
Who is this actor?
I don't even know his name, and I don't want to because
Right. Why
I'm
ruin
onto
it?
this character.
Yeah, you're into the character.
And he was like this. He was a leader. He was like a Michael Collins kind of figure
Yeah.
in the Scottish uprising, and now he's like a smuggler, like a booze smuggler. And I remember I was looking at her, and I'm like, "You're a physician, and your ex-boyfriend is now a criminal.
Right.
Get the fuck out.
Right.
Go back."
Right. Was the sex that good? And
It
she's
was,
like,
but
"Yeah,
then they
yeah, it
had
was."
some amazing sex, and I'm like, "Girl, I get it. I understand."
Right.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. So that
Here,
admirable.
and then there's this other, and if you're all right, these are spoilers if you're gonna watch Outlander at another time.
Right. Season 2 Outlander.
So the guy who plays Prince Philip on The Crown,
Okay.
plays this sadist rapist on
right.
Outlander, and he rapes indiscriminately.
Right,
Whoever's
he's
got a hole, he's in it.
It turns out he might be a rapist.
Beyond
Yeah,
that,
yeah.
yeah. So there is a scene between him and the Scottish guy. It's a rape scene,
Oof.
and even more oof. I was incredibly aroused. That's
Wow.
even oofier.
Wow, that is
I'm
very
like, this is
oofier.
not acceptable. What's happening to
Right.
me?
This is a blow to both your psyche and your ego
And my
going-
politics.
and your politics and your
My
You're
living
like, why am I?
situation has warped my brain.
exactly.
Oh my
You're
God.
just like because it was.
But I was like, do you guys need a third? I'm here. I will
you
jump
need-
through the television.
You're just
Like they
thank
were the
God someone
Stones.
filmed this. so
So, and they're both so good. Oh,
right,
God,
just
damn.
some great acting going
And they're
on.
both handsome in very different ways. Both
Sure.
ways that work
Listen,
for me.
everyone. Oh, interesting. So, wow. Well, I'm glad you're enjoying a new TV show.
Yeah.
And that is-
What's a new way to procrastinate doing things I should be doing?
Well, it's a good way to weed off because you need something to just. I'm doing a reread of. I'm re-listening to a book on tape I've heard 100 times. I own the book. I could just read it, but every time I got to go get in the car because I got to listen to another chapter.
That's good.
But and then I'm rereading a romance novel from 10 years ago that I really liked, and then I've got a lot of new books to read. But there's this great and I've actually dusted it off because I bought it 3 years ago in Galway. And it is essentially, it's that comparative religion nonfiction between Islam, Judaism, and Christianity.
Oh, I would fall asleep.
Well,
give it to me because I'm having trouble. I have to apologize for being stoned on our podcast
God, you
yesterday.
Were so stoned for the Max Fun bonus episode.
I thought
so stoned.
It would just. I thought, let me just take this edible now, and then when this podcast is over, I'll fall right asleep. And in the middle of it, I couldn't feel my lips. I was so thirsty, and I was watching you talk, and
oh my God, you were so stoned.
But I'm glad it's the bonus episode and
it's
not
the bonus episode. You guys
not
go
a
to
real
Max
one.
Fun, join in,
please do,
and get to hear that episode.
Well, now I know to take it after, or at least midway in. Maybe when we do
take drugs and have me witness it. That's fantastic.
It's a gummy bear,
right?
Okay.
I went to Uncle Bernie's today for lunch because we did the podcast and then it was over at 3 and neither one of us had eaten anything but a bowl of cereal. So Andy and I went to Uncle Bernie's Delicatessen, my favorite deli here in Los Angeles, over in Encino on Ventura and White Oak.
Never heard of it.
It is called Uncle Bernie's and that's the only deli that I've ever been to in Los Angeles that has the good food, but also decent fucking coffee. It's a deli. It should have good coffee. And it has an amazing bagel plate.
Every New York bodega has good coffee.
Yeah. Even the carts in New York have good coffee.
Especially the carts.
Yeah. There's good work being done with coffee and $1.50 coffee. Cheap coffee in New York is being brewed correctly. Well done.
In those little blue and white Greek cups. Love it.
Or the ones that have do you ever get those cups that have the cards on the bottom of them? Oh. I think those come out of vending machines.
Okay.
I think I'm wrong. Okay. So
well, you are a connoisseur if you're getting vending machine coffee, Jackie.
Turns out
I trust all your judgments.
Just need the coffee. Coffee.
So this will be out after Super Tuesday results have been tabulated.
Right. By the way, I'm never doing another live podcast during an election. So I'm psyched that we're doing it the day before the election and not on the day of the election. Because remember when the results were coming in? And you were about to burst into tears and I was falsely hopeful.
During the 2016 election.
Yeah, it was a terrible episode.
Yeah. So Did
you vote already?
I'm going to vote tomorrow.
Oh, you're voting tomorrow.
I will be voting for Elizabeth Warren.
Right. I've already voted.
Listen, Bernie's my second choice.
And
Biden's
mine.
It's a Hail Mary. So many delegates are still open.
Yeah,
maybe there's a
96
way. Because I do think she would be a better president than any of the three
that are left.
Yeah, and it's awful to talk about politics at all, but especially when the results are already in, and you know what I mean.
Like everyone else has already lived this. It'll be 5 days.
So I'm even sorry I brought it up. You said Uncle Bernie, so I figured that was you signaling to me.
That was my signal.
Yes.
Here I do have a signal and a name to write on a thing because we were talking about Elizabeth Warren, Andy and I.
Right.
Because she's just the most qualified, and she would, but we don't know what's going to happen because it turns out it hasn't happened in our world.
The only thing that's driving me crazy too, or making me go, maybe there is a path for her if she collects enough delegates, is that 2 weeks ago Joe Biden was like, "Hey, get in the grave, old man. We need to throw dirt over you," and now within a week, everyone's coalesced. There's this whirlwind around him.
Right.
I'm like, it can happen
Trump
that fast.
Came out in support of Bernie. Did you see that?
Well, you can't. He's a bomb thrower, so you can't.
Yeah, he's throwing a bomb. Yeah, that's what he does.
So he's not supporting Bernie. He's throwing that bomb, and then he'll throw another bomb and another bomb.
Right. Guy's a moron. Anyway, but here's for some reason we were discussing. Oh, I know, because we have some friends who will not support Elizabeth Warren,
right.
And because of her attacking Hillary Clinton.
Oh, is that why?
That is why, because she
Oh.
made a couple of cracks about Hillary Clinton.
Well,
And-
they're going back in a time machine. They really are.
Right.
That's not a thing to worry about.
It was a year ago. It was 6 months ago. It was whatever it was. It's
fucking politics, people. It's ugly. It's going to bring out your ugly side. Everyone
Right.
gets a little ugly when they're trying to win the most important presidential race in our history. And they always say it is, but this one it really is.
This one actually
If this
is.
one we lose fucking everything.
Right. Then it's Robespierre and mob rule and bullshit.
Right.
But here's and it could be anyway. But the thing is so this is you know right who I'm
Let me
talking
see.
about, right?
Oh,
Yeah.
right.
Right. So she will
Oh.
not. She will
Really?
Yeah, she will not support
Okay.
Elizabeth Warren because
She's
got
gotta
to
let that go.
She would be nice, but she won't. But here's the thing, because
Oh
she's
my
over
God.
she's over anyone criticizing Hillary.
Okay.
Because Hillary was so enormous. Whatever, she was so very qualified,
Right.
especially compared to absolutely everyone else.
Yes.
But so I was saying that I work very hard to not have any bitterness or envy, right? Now, even I get sometimes envious
Mm-hmm.
of like other comics who have the things that I want. And
How were you when the Netflix festival was announced all over Twitter today and you and I weren't on any schedule and I hadn't even heard of it? It's
I
like,
hadn't even heard
oh,
of it.
am I even in this fucking business anymore? Do you
Oh,
guys
God.
do you
That's
guys know,
right.
do I matter? What am I doing here?
Right. Well, I don't think Netflix knows that I exist. The one time they did know exist, Comedians of Comedy came out 12 years ago. Maria
Uh-huh.
mentioned me in an interview, and they're like, "Hey, can we use your for bonus content?"
Oh, right.
yeah. And I was like, "Well, can I get a free year of Netflix?" And
that's all you wanted? You didn't even want a special?
Well, no, this is 15 years ago.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and it was before they were doing stand up. Really.
Okay.
And what I got was, and I think I asked for like lifetime free Netflix.
Okay.
And then and they said we'll give you 2 years free Netflix and $100 or $200. And I was like, yeah, fine, whatever.
Okay.
Anyway, so but Andy thought it would be like if a comic one of the young comics who has become very successful, who I've known since they were babies,
Right.
and are very good at comedy, the kind of comedy they do, and are also hardworking and love stand up.
Right.
So I don't usually there's usually I'm not mad about it.
Yes.
But Andy was like, what if they said something like, well, the reason Jackie Cation was never famous or never got this thing, these are the errors she made. Like
Right.
supposedly Elizabeth Warren, which is exactly what Elizabeth Warren said about Hillary, is that she had made mistakes in her campaign.
Dude, every
Someone asked
campaign does
her.
an autopsy afterwards to figure
Right.
out what happened.
Right.
Of
So
course.
There's no. So I
Okay.
was like, yeah, but this person who
Right.
I am occasionally sometimes angry at
Okay.
her success.
Ah!
Because she was a child. And
But she's not a stand-up.
yeah, she is. She's doing theaters.
Wait, who? Wait, who? Am I?
Yeah. Take that.
Oh! I thought you meant her.
Oh
Okay.
no.
Oh,
no.
okay.
Yeah. We are that
Okay.
name can be scratched.
Okay.
This is a second name.
Okay.
And yeah, so she kind of bugs me because I was there when she was a year in,
Right.
and now she's doing theaters and auditoriums and stadiums, and I think she's playing the moon. And so sometimes I have envy.
Sure.
And-
it's hard to avoid that. And we all have a different person that triggers
that.
every
do you
button in
have
her.
one offhand?
No, I don't. I'm trying to think of a name to write, but I mean, yeah. I mean,
I mean, and not
Okay.
and
It's
it's
not
not,
a
that I'm not
shock.
happy for this woman
yeah.
and happy for the next generation.
Right.
But sometimes when her name comes up, I have a knee jerk reaction where I'm just like, I don't like it. Oh, sure.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
But who cares? It's like life is short, and who cares? And I'm lucky, and
Right. And there's plenty of work and it's fine.
yes,
Yeah.
and
And it's not going to help.
it doesn't help, and
Yep.
we still get to do comedy, and we're
Yep.
still good at it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's hard to be good at comedy, right?
Yeah.
You can lose it easily,
Mhm.
and you can get a lot of people our age go on these different, podcast in a room by themselves, and they lose it. And so, high five to us that we're still
relevant
doing
to
that.
some extent. Right.
Yes.
And still writing. I mean, that's the huge
Yes.
where you're like, I just want to keep, because the podcast I did today with Simon and MK, it's called Roommates for Life. Two young comics who are younger, couple of the new generation, right?
Right.
So they're 8 years in. And they were talking about, at one point, MK said, it's so cool. At this point, I think, why am I, sometimes he can get sucked into this. Why am I still doing an open mic? If I don't have enough sets in a week, I'll still go to an open mic. And I was like, no, that's good,
Yeah.
And he said, and the other one, Simon was saying, he said, and it's weird because you'd think I would know what stand-up was now and how to do it and where I was going. I was like, oh no. It's that's a good thing to not know, because
you never
it makes
know
you
what jokes
grow.
are going to work.
Yeah.
It's infuriating. all of our decades of experience, and we still have to try a joke to see if it's going to work. That's like the first thing you do at your first open mic too, is you're trying to see if something works.
Yeah.
You never figure it out.
Right. You can't tell.
Have to
on
do
the
it in
page.
front of the audience.
Yeah.
That's what makes it such a demanding, horrible craft. Is like you can't move beyond nightclubs in a way. You know what I mean?
Well, you can't move
it's
beyond the audience.
democratic in a way. Like you can't shut yourself away in a more precious space. Like an actor can, or something like that.
Right.
Like,
or a writer.
Right.
I mean, though the writer doesn't get that instant gratification or knowledge.
Oh, that's an even worse life. They get no gratification, very little money, and no health insurance,
and no feedback, no
Right.
the instant feedback that is stand-up comedy. At least you get an answer.
Yes.
I've written a joke.
Right.
You've heard that joke. What is your opinion? And that opinion is often
Silence.
yeah. It's
Yeah. Well, did you have a jealous day today or something like that?
Well, I'm all twitchy in my own body about any number of things. Like I'm going on this big road trip. It's a long way. I used to do 6-week runs, right?
Right.
And I was cool with it. But now this is a little over 2 weeks, or maybe even less than 2 weeks. I don't know. And I don't want to. I mean, there's part of me that wants to come back home. You ever
For the 3 days?
for the 3 days?
Oh, I would totally do that.
Yeah.
I've done the dumbest routing to be home for 24 hours.
right.
I just like to be home.
It's like playing whenever. And this analogy you won't get it, but maybe the audience is when you play hacky sack. Is you kick
Very
the,
demeaning already.
Right, already.
Okay.
So you kick the ball. In between the kicking of every kick, you touch the ground just to regain your balance.
Oh, okay.
And that's
all right.
And that's what it is for me.
Right.
If I can come home for just a day,
Yeah.
just 3 days, I feel more human. I feel more connected.
So do you want to change your routing?
No, I may already be changing my time out, which may affect, money wise. I don't know that I'll make enough money down in San Diego because I want to do this gig. But I think
The San Diego gig?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think my best bet is to rent a car on Wednesday, drive down there, drive back. Because driving back, it'll only take an hour and a half. And I, conceivably I could take a train, but I don't think there's a late night train.
I don't know. Yeah.
Or I could change my out flight to the San Diego airport.
That sounds expensive.
That sounds more expensive.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, unless you still have that right as a Delta
Platinum,
whatever you are.
I guess. I
Because
could check
usually that's just a whole new ticket. Plus they ding you for
whatever, right?
changing it.
Yeah. And tomorrow's only Tuesday. There's some sort of thing, if it's within 24 hours, that they'll let you change it.
Oh.
And it's somehow
Yeah.
easier.
No. They all have a 24-hour thing now, which is
Yeah.
great.
That
But
is kinda
so
nice.
you just bought your ticket recently, like in the last couple hours?
No, not the not the changing of the ticket. If it's 24 hours of when the flight takes off,
Oh, I see.
you can sort of make a standby kind of choice.
Yeah, they'll charge you for it though,
But they'll probably charge me for it.
but maybe not.
Especially-
maybe not Delta.
At this level, very disappointing.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I did a set last night. Got to pick up a set. Did the Solomon Giorgio spot at the Lady to Lady set,
Cool.
and it was awesome. I went up, I think, third. I was going to go up first. That space that those guys are doing it at, I think it's called Allspire? Whatever. It's on Broadway, kind of downtown.
Okay.
And it is, what day was last night?
Sunday.
Yeah, it's a Sunday night. I don't know if it's every Sunday, but it was awesome. It was such a
fun.
great lineup.
Cool.
And the room is set up like a small theater. Like, so it seats like 45 people. It was packed.
Oh, neat.
Yeah, because it was Kyle, Solomon Giorgio, and Maria Bamford.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Yeah, that's a hell of a show, right?
Yeah.
And then it was Brandy Posey, Tess Barker, and Barbara Gray as the hosts. And all three of them do a set. And then all three of the guests do a set. And Solomon couldn't come. He had to cancel, so I got his set. And so it was such a good... Maria went up first. She tried this new joke that was so fucking funny. What was it about? Oh, it was about giving up sugar. And then I think Barbara went up. And then Tess went up. And then I went up. And it was... Yeah, this story just ends like this. Then I went up.
I'm like, that's interesting.
Great, great.
I don't know.
Did
Usually
you breathe
know that
in
order.
and out, Jackie?
That's good.
Great.
Yeah,
I'm
I'm
so
sure this is
glad.
leading to something.
Sadly, it isn't.
No,
I think
thank
I
you
was,
for your details.
I think I was leading to the fact that the place also had like weird appetizer food, and I hadn't eaten most of the day yesterday. And then we did the show, and I was like, "Oh, I have to eat something." And they had deviled eggs. Was that-
Ew.
you know how like the hipster
That stuff's going to stay in your teeth and come out during the show. You got to be careful what you eat before a show.
I didn't eat that, but it had that weird But all appetizer menus now, if they don't have regular food,
Yeah.
they have deviled eggs for some reason, and then they have chicken wings. But they had chicken wings.
Also terrible.
I love a chicken wing, but I love chicken, and so. But get this, it was a pumpkin seed encrusted chicken wing, which was such an interesting sort of like a fried chicken kind of batter, right? Made out of crushed pumpkin seeds.
I think the only acceptable food before a set is a peanut butter sandwich.
Interesting.
It's not messy. There's not going to be residue necessarily inside your mouth. I
I
mean,
had a peanut butter sandwich last week for the first time in probably years.
do you brush your teeth and floss before shows?
I brush my teeth before I go out.
What if you eat at the club? Like,
No.
do you no?
No, what?
If you eat and then you go right up on stage, you don't
Yeah.
brush or floss in between that?
No.
Okay.
Well, now I feel like a monster. What? Why?
Oh,
Just in case there's something in my teeth?
yeah.
Well, I
Yeah.
think I-
Just to make sure that it's
check.
all clean in there. It's all you want that sparkling inside that cave of yours.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I
Have you ever been on stage and seen something come out of your mouth while you're talking?
yes.
Yeah, horrifying. Because you're
Usually-
like, did the audience see that? Do I need to
Uh,
comment on it? If they didn't and I do, then it's completely gross.
I have this to say. I got an offer today from these people.
Oh, okay.
Already booked. The weekend I'm already booked. Can't do it.
Oh.
So I was
Classic.
like, send them.
Was the money okay?
Didn't even get there.
Oh,
Didn't even get there yet. Had to move my Seattle gig, by the way,
mm-hmm.
because I'm also doing
A festival.
some sort of comic run thing.
Yeah.
And then but my Seattle weekend was in October. Now it's in November. And that worked out.
Right.
Then I'm also doing a festival in Chico, California
I
by Davis.
I know where Chico
You
is.
both-
I'm
you
from
both-
Northern California. I'm from upstate
upstate.
California. I've done many a gig in Chico.
I think I've only done Davis. I've never.
I think it was called the Rocking Horse Inn. I don't know. You know, a lot of them are called something like the Rocking Horse Inn, right?
Yeah, they are.
But it was a 2-story bar in Chico, and on Sunday nights they did a show upstairs, and it was always and very dicey. Like it was always one of those gigs that could be great or horrific depending
Right.
on which person you talk to in the audience or what
Right,
joke you did.
or any
Yeah.
given Sunday is what it sadly was. It's like you don't know what the audience is going to be full of.
because it was a lot of students because of Chico State, but then there was a lot of just Chico
Did you ever
residents.
do that Bob
who were-
Zaney Morro Bay gig?
That sounds familiar. I
Morro
think I
Bay
might
is
have
that
done it
weird
once.
rock, right?
Yeah.
And it's supposedly a tourist destination.
Right.
Morro Bay. And so I was like, hey, Andy, do you want to go to Morro Bay? And he's like, I've heard of it. We went. It was gray. It was cold. It was a seaside town for sure. And there was a giant rock that kind of looked like a bowler hat. But that was not enough to make it a tourist. And so get this, the bar, it was a 2-story bar, right? And the gig was in the second story in the corner where you would put the stage
Yeah.
and sound system. All the windows were open, and the bar and restaurant itself overlooked the bay.
Yeah.
And so during your set, seals just going bark, 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 bark.
I love it.
Yeah, try to time your set around it. It wasn't awesome.
I want that gig now. I want to do a gig with seals in the background.
With seals in the back. That's your next album. It was just seals playing in the background. Hey, we're at 30. Let's do Comic of the Week.
Okay.
And this is what it was the person we did not know that we did not know that we
Yeah.
had not done. Tess Barker.
Yes.
She is a great comic.
Yes.
She has the podcast Lady to
She's
Lady.
part of Lady to Lady. She's one of the ladies.
She's one of the ladies in Lady to Lady. And it's Tess Tiffy.
TESSTIFY. Barker.
Right.
BARKER.
And I saw her do a set last night, and she was freaking hilarious.
Great.
It was interesting and weird and punchy and awesome. So, Tess Barker, you guys, great comic.
Yeah.
And listen to Lady to Lady if you want, because that's a great comic.
Yeah.
That's a great podcast as well.
They have guests. They're not like us.
Right. We've been their guests.
Yes.
So go find that. And why don't we also, since we're here, do a Max Fun break?
Okay.
This is your captain with an update from the flight deck. We'll be reaching Max Fun Drive on March 16th. That's right on time. As a reminder, Max Fun Drive runs for just 2 weeks, and it's the best time of year to support the podcasts you love. If you look towards the front, you'll see your favorite hosts with special bonus content and lovely thank you gifts for new and upgrading monthly members. Now, sit back, relax, and catch up on your favorite Max Fun shows now so you can listen to the new episodes releasing March 16th. And thanks again for choosing Maximum Fun.
And we're back. I did this triple run once. I think I did this gig a couple times. The Oregon run he had for a while.
Oh, yeah?
He's always got an Oregon run, but it's always
Sure.
different cities in Oregon. But there was this one, just when you saying that Zany's gig was upstairs reminded me of this gig in Sisters, Oregon, which is like this little tiny town kind of near Redmond, Bend, kind of in that area.
Oh, yeah?
We may have driven by it.
Oh, when we did live, Jackie. and
Yeah. Maybe Sisters is south. I forget. But it was on the second story of a really old building. You know, it's like one
Yeah.
of those old towns that was built in 1850 and
Right.
there's 7 people still living in it. And Oregon is filled with places like that.
Right.
And it was such
So
a
the
fun,
bar was second floor?
yeah, it was such a fun set. It
Was
was
there
crazy.
anything downstairs?
I don't remember. I just
Yeah.
remember going upstairs and they went like an old brick, gold rush era sort of building.
That's awesome. I did one gig once in Corpus Christi, Texas, and it was attached to the Cap City back 20 years ago, 25 years ago. And so Cap City's in Austin, and Rich Miller was like, "Hey, there's a Tuesday in Corpus Christi you can have." And I was like, "Is there a Wednesday?" Because maybe it was a Monday even, because there was a dark night in between. And he was like, "No, you'll have to put yourself up in Austin in between that one night." And I was like, "Okay." And so I go to Corpus Christi, which I didn't know it is a shrimping town. It's
It's a water town. It's
a
on
water
the Gulf, right?
It's on the Gulf, but everybody are fishermen.
Okay.
And the weird thing about it was that I did not know that it was quite so. It was one of these. It used to be super big, but
They had a disaster, right? Did they have a flood or something that wiped out half the population?
I don't know, but it was pretty dead.
Yeah.
And
there was some kind of disaster.
And it was in July, and I remember it being like 121 degrees. And so the set itself was a bit of a mess.
Mm-hmm.
It was 25 years ago or 22 years ago. So I do that set. The next night is dark, so I go to Austin, Texas, and I don't know where. Oh, it was back when Cap City had a condo.
Right.
And
I remember
they
that
gave you a
condo.
car.
Mm-hmm. I remember that.
So I put myself up in a Motel 6 because
Motel 6s.
it was such a, and the first one they gave me,
So many of them.
The window, it was first floor.
Right.
The window had a hole in it.
Oh my God.
Like the glass had broken. And I was like, I can't actually stay in this room. And so I stayed one room over, and like the blankets had cigarette burns in them.
Yes.
And it was just terrible.
Right.
And I did not feel safe. I did
Right.
not. But once asleep.
Or warm. Those blankets are thin.
Oh, they're so thin. They're like army blankets from World War II.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. And brown, weirdly enough. Yikes. But I lived, you guys. And then I went and I spent a week in Texas at Cap City, where you would go to the club
Mm-hmm.
in the creepiest strip mall. It's been a creepy strip mall for 30 years, Cap City. That strip mall.
Oh yeah. It isn't a strip mall, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the only thing that has ever stayed besides Cap City is the hand job place on the corner.
Okay.
In between, there used to be a Guatemalan market,
Yeah.
and they had pretty good tacos.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is it went out of business. And I was like, how can a Guatemalan market go out of business in Austin, Texas? I don't get it, but it did. And the only thing and I did not know it was a hand job place next to the Cap City until I think Augie Smith told me. He said, oh yeah, the only thing that's lasted there besides the comedy club is the hand job place.
It's a massage parlor.
Yeah. Yeah, but it's one of those blacked out windows, just no name, and it just has an open sign.
Yeah,
that
so you
blinks.
don't let the light in. It helps you have a better massage.
Right. You want, and they're massaging just the middle bits of a gentleman.
It reminds me of Laughs in Tucson. They for the longest time they had that lesbian nightclub like a couple doors down.
Yeah.
And it just closed.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
did it?
I think so. Last time I was there, it was closed. Yeah.
I was just talking about that club today, and how remember the good years when Gary put you up at a La Quinta?
Yeah.
Yeah. There were like 3 years when it was like sweet La Quinta.
Sure.
And now poor Gary Hood. Now you got to live where Hoodie died.
Oh, I haven't been back there in a while.
I haven't been back since Hoodie passed.
Yeah, I think I had been back since he passed, but after that,
But it was still La Quinta?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think I refused to.
It's hard. It's a hard row.
Yeah.
Did
you ever work
It's a
Beaumont?
hard $800. What?
Yeah, really. Beaumont, Texas.
No.
It's
Where is that?
It's very eastern Texas. Like
Okay.
It's like the first town in Texas from New Mexico.
Okay.
And
So it's
incredibly depressing.
Oof.
That's what I remember. I should check where Beaumont is on a map because I was driving to Baton Rouge to do. Did Rich Miller? There was a Funny Bone in Baton Rouge, right?
Rich Miller booked Baton
Yes,
Rouge.
and the MC was like a Cajun dude that did local references and destroyed. And I was like, oh my fucking god!
He wouldn't book me for that.
I'm
gig.
like, I don't know what the fuck these people are saying. So, it was
Right.
like all Cajun English. It
right.
was unintelligible to me.
Right.
And so I don't even know what they're laughing at.
Right.
Like I can't even parse it out. I'm just like fingers crossed. My abortion joke will still work.
I was like,
my
they
God.
must watch the news. They must get this accent. Right.
But Beaumont, somehow that was on the way. And I just remember
Baton
going,
Rouge.
oh, this is fucking depressing. Like you could feel you feel that everyone there was sort of stuck there in a way. And
Yeah.
that was going to be it. I don't
Yeah.
know. It just didn't, it didn't, Even the pool, like the pool felt depressing. I remember going, this isn't good in this town. I need to get out of this town.
Yeah, like maybe the chlorine to water ratio was off.
No, that's not.
That's not a thing.
That's
Is that
a
a
problem.
thing?
No, more like the energy of the.
Right, the vibe.
Yeah.
I did a great weekend once in Fort Worth, Texas.
Oh.
Dallas, Fort Worth. In Fort Worth, there was a theater. I think it's Baron Vaughn's wife is from there,
Okay.
or someone he was dating many years ago. But Baron got me the gig, and it was a weekend where there was just one show a night, a Friday and a Saturday.
Sweet.
Linda Stagner, is that right?
Yeah, Stegner. Yeah.
Stagner. She featured for me, and she is essentially, she's so funny.
She's hilarious. So this is recent, right? Like the last couple of years?
Probably 3 or 4 years ago, maybe.
Okay.
And but that was a gig that I
Was it
haven't
in a
done
hotel?
again. It was not. It was in a black box theater.
Okay.
And they put me up in a hotel, and it was super fun. And I was like, why did I never do that again? And
Yeah.
maybe it was 5 years ago.
Maybe they
But
stopped.
whatever it was, maybe they stopped doing it, or because I know Baron would go there and do like a residency for a month, and then just do new bits all the time.
Oh my God.
Yeah, we talked about this on the bonus episode when you were stoned, so you won't remember. But my lyric Hyperion, I'm going to do it again on the 26th.
Yes, I
on a
remember
Wednesday.
that. You know, Janelle James is doing one at the lab on Tuesday nights. or
Oh, is she
something.
doing like a residency?
Yeah.
She's just doing every Tuesday night.
I think so. Something like that.
Well, I'm just doing another afternoon at Lyric Hyperion on a Wednesday afternoon again at 1 p.m. Where I'm just going to run that hour. I got the set list. I got the order. So I'm happy about that. I just have to pick a place to record it at. And I've always recorded it at Acme. But I think I've done Acme too close together for him to get me back in December.
Right.
So it was funny. I was when I was there for our live podcast.
Yeah.
I was sitting in the office with him, and he was paying me. And I look up at the schedule, and he goes, "What are you looking for? Seeing how many women are on the schedule?" And I said, "Yeah, I am, Louis." And he's like, "Well, you'll notice." And I said, "I am noticing." And so because he's got more women, headlining, which is good. Because you know what, squeaky wheel. Fucking, I'm gonna bitch at you because you're a good guy, and you need to just book more women headliners.
Sure.
You got 50 weeks a year. You could put a dozen. It's not
Yeah.
gonna kill you.
Is that me? Did I get a text?
It was you. You've received
Hold
a
on. Let
text.
me just make sure it's not.
Let's take this opportunity
Okay.
to do our second Max Fun break.
Alrighty.
Hi, I'm Dave,
Hi, I'm Graham.
and we're two house DJs who have been trapped inside our drum machine.
We love it here, and we'd love if you stopped by and visited us every week on Stop Podcasting Yourself.
here on MaximumFun.org.
We're just a couple of doofuses from Canada.
And listen to our show or perish. Stop podcasting yourself.
On MaximumFun.org.
We're back.
We are back. Yeah, I'm trying to think of when's the next time you're at Comedy Works?
Not they booked me twice last year, so I
Right.
wouldn't be surprised if they also gave me a year and a half. I'm doing Loveland, Colorado, at a theater
Yeah,
that Comedy Works books.
they booked you.
And they booked me, and they are like, "Well, maybe she does theaters now," and I'm like, "Or maybe I do the Comedy Works again." Anyway, but I'll give it a shot, obviously, right?
Mhm.
And it's just one night.
Yeah.
It pays like
Is it a Saturday night?
I think it is.
I can do a Saturday night any place.
Right.
Why aren't they? Why?
Why? I don't know.
Why?
Well, I wish I were your booker, but I don't want to be. So, how about that? That's so sad.
Understood.
Understood. What else? So you got so I've got one set tonight. I have two weird sets tomorrow because I thought it was Laugh Factory, but it's actually Ice House. So I'm doing Akbar with Bruce Daniels
Okay.
and fun comics. And then I'm going over to the Ice House and I'm doing an ATC. Dork Forest is on All Things Comedy.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm doing a night of All Things Comedy comics, and I'm the only woman on it.
Mm.
But But they're funny guys. Brad's on it. Brad Williams.
Oh, cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I like Brad Williams.
That's a
The rest of
good
them,
lineup.
I can't remember anybody else's name, but I like. I don't think I have any. When you see a name and you're like, I can't remember his act, but I have a negative reaction to that name. I don't have any of that with the rest of those comics.
Right.
So that's the good news. Is that something? Oh,
Yeah. What?
Right, except for this guy.
Wait, I can't see it.
Yeah. He's up tomorrow.
Oh, right, that guy.
Yeah, that guy. Yeah, so he's fine, but
Right,
whatever.
right.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, I forgot to turn in my Laugh Factory veil, so I'm not gonna get anything for March.
Oh, do they?
They were due
per
like
month?
at 10 a.m. and I didn't remember till like 6 p.m. and I
And so you
tried.
put them in late, or?
Yeah, but it's a spreadsheet, so it closes down officially. I was like,
Oh wow! Look at that,
whatever.
fancy.
Yeah,
It's not still Jamie, is it? No, because somebody else bought it.
Jack Fink, I think. Well, I don't know who's actually putting the shows together.
Oh, right. Oh, that's right.
But the week after Tacoma, I'll be in New York for another weekend, and I'm staying. I'm going to be there like the 13th through the 17th, just to stay for a little bit. Hopefully, meet with some book agents and see if I can get a.
Oh, we should do another episode then.
Oh,
But
no,
we're going to have to do
seriously?
some sort of call in because there's no time now.
We got to call in some of these things.
Right, but because I get back the 15th,
Okay.
you get back the 17th.
Right.
So,
we'll need one for that Monday.
Yeah, we'll need one for the 16th.
Okay. We'll figure it
And
out.
We'll figure it out.
Okay.
So
And then I'm around for a while.
okay.
Then my son's gonna go on this East Coast tour.
Oh, right, with his school, right?
Right.
That's cool. Oh, Andy finished the manga that my nephew suggested, the Japanese history manga,
Yeah.
1929 to 1936.
Yeah.
And he says it's pretty good and the art's great. So
Could we try it?
yeah,
Okay. I
Sure.
still have all the other things you've loaned us.
right, the Miyazaki movies.
Yes, we have everything.
Right. Well, I gave him Spirit Circle.
Okay.
Yeah. He
Oh,
can
the
have it.
books?
Yeah, the books.
Oh,
There's
there's
6 books. Those are for him.
forever?
Yeah, for him.
Oh, thank you.
Please.
Okay.
Yeah. And yeah, I'm like books. If you give a child a book,
Mm-hmm.
they get to keep that book if they like that book. Just to encourage all kinds of rereading. And in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
And then but movies, those Miyazaki movies, I want those back.
Okay, let me find them.
He
before
can
you go.
yeah, because it was
I have to tell you the extra effort of putting a DVD into a DVD player
Yeah.
is prohibitive for this generation.
sure. It's I just bought Frozen 2 so that my mother-in-law could see it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you buy it on iTunes?
No,
Or
I
you
bought
just-
a DVD
A DVD.
over at the
Okay.
Target, which is a brick and mortar store.
Right. Yes.
Yeah. And Andy was like, "Well, she hasn't seen Frozen 1. Should we get that too?" And I said, "Oh, that's on Disney Plus. We can throw that to her Chromecast."
Oh, okay.
And that's fine. Do you guys have Disney Plus? Did you end up getting it?
Nope, not yet.
Because you can bundle, just so you know.
Bundle
Hulu,
what?
Disney Plus and ESPN for $12.99.
I can get ESPN.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, for $12.99? I
Yeah,
think
a
that's
month.
what I pay for Hulu, something like that, right?
Yeah. Yeah. My sister
Interesting.
told me that she thought she was paying $54 a month for Hulu.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, I hope not. And
Yeah, that seems
And
high.
then she was going to look into it. And then that's the end of that. Another great story.
Listen,
Listen, we're at
we're
47
doing what
minutes.
we can.
47.
We've had zero experiences since we've seen each other.
Exactly.
We're trying to provide content.
We're providing content.
We are providing content.
I'm going to do
It's
my...
definitely helping our careers. You can see we're booked all over.
I updated my website today.
Yeah.
With all of my work. And
That's a lot of work.
I'm actually pretty full. December I'm not working. July I'm not working. I should probably take July off and not work and stay home and be a person.
Yeah, go
But
on a
I
vacation.
gave them to my PA agent
Yeah.
as I am open. But why don't I just emotionally be okay with not working in July and just staying here? Because it's our birthday month. Hey, do you want to go to Denny's?
No, I don't. And don't ever say that to me again. Don't ever
You're the
say
one who
that to
told
me again.
everybody how old we are.
I regret that. Because for a while I was obsessed with my age.
Oh, yeah?
And now I'm like, all right.
Nobody needs to know.
No one needs to know, and it's a way for the young people in the audience to completely disconnect from you instantly if you're their age of their mother or older or something.
Right.
Whereas if they're guessing or they don't even care, I don't know. I was just trying to remember how I felt when someone would complain about being old, and
and I don't ever want to do that.
I don't either. There's got to be funny ways to do it, but that whole. When you get, there's one thing where it's 35-year-olds complaining of getting old. It's like, okay.
Or 26.
Right.
Have you heard that
It's
version?
so irritating.
Have you heard that
my
version
God.
of the 26-year-old joke where you're just like, and I've heard it done well and I've heard it done poorly. But the best versions are you're a savant if you do something before you're 26. But once you're 26, you're like, no, you should have your shit together. And it's some version of that about because there's different levels where age jokes come in, right?
Right.
And 26 is one of those ages where people talk about being 26. 32 is another one.
That's
I find.
when that's the last year you're on your parents' health insurance under
is it?
Obamacare. Yeah. 20,
Okay.
Yes. I'm 27 and after you're kicked off.
Get it together.
But I feel like the average age, like the audience is usually in their 30s, right? In most clubs, right?
Yeah.
40s. So to have a 35-year-old complaining about being old is sort of funny because you're all sort of going through that. But it's different when you actually are old.
Or you have, where,
know?
I think you really summed it up when you said, I know there's a funny way to do it.
Yeah, it's really hard.
I can't think of a way, quite honestly.
It starts off in you're talking about a future that they don't want to think they're going to have, right? They don't want to think they'll be middle-aged. They don't want to think their knees are going to hurt. They don't want to think they can't do things physically that they can do now.
The sound joke, everyone does the sound joke. I make noises when I get up and down.
Right.
That's a big premise.
Yes.
That's
so
annoying.
nobody wants to be that person.
Unless it's not annoying, I'm so sorry. If
Right.
it's funny, if you've written the best punchline.
But when you are that person, you want to talk about your stuff, it's like, I don't know. You're a reminder of what's going to happen to them, and they don't want to know. I think what they want to know is, you can be 55 or 54 and not complain about that stuff and talk about blah, 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 blah. And that's almost like hopeful, you know? I don't know.
Right. Who was I talking to? And I said, oh, she still has all of her own teeth. And it was not appreciated. And this person was in their 70s.
Okay.
So dental care being what it is these days, most
Very
people
important to floss.
have their own teeth. I've been thinking about getting all the things done. Just throwing money at maybe getting veneers, the eye surgery.
Don't do the eye surgery.
Don't do it.
Because now that you and I are older, I forget what it's called. It begins with a P. It's the kind of thing where it's where you need reading glasses.
Yeah.
That always gets worse. So they can fix your eyes, but they're going to still keep getting worse, and you're still going to have to get reading glasses.
Okay.
That's if there's no complications. Okay.
Right.
Do you know Ray? I forget his last name. He's a comic in New York. He books the Bahamas.
Oh, that guy.
Yes. He produces the Comedy Cellar show.
Okay.
Okay. God, how do I not know his last name? Okay, whatever. His sister had complications from LASIK, and she wrote an op-ed about it in the New York Times.
Oh, wow.
And it's for the rest of your fucking life, your eyes are leaking, and you're constantly tending to them for the rest of your life.
Yeah, I don't want that.
No.
Yeah, there's
just learn to put on contacts. Do you not wear contacts?
No, I have contacts. But I stopped wearing them like 5 or 6 years ago.
Guess what?
Wear them
We
again.
Live in an age where we can just put little contacts in our eyes and we can see things.
Right.
Why do you want more than that? That's a miracle. It's a fucking miracle.
It is a miracle.
Why do you want more? Stop wanting more.
Stop. Wow. Now I'm not going to stop wanting more. But we can call this episode Stop Wanting More because that's hilarious.
That's so good. Like I have one that corrects for nearsightedness and one that corrects for reading glasses, whatever
right.
that thing's
You're
called.
doing that.
So
right?
it's called monovision.
Yeah.
So always everything's slightly blurry, but at the same time, I can see far when I'm driving and see close when I'm reading. And I'm used to it. My brain adjusted to it.
Right.
And when I put the contacts in the wrong eyes, I almost pass out because my brain can't handle it. Ma, what's happening? Yeah,
Oh, shit.
It's a lot.
That is a lot. Yeah, I don't, and there's part of me that doesn't want to do, because I keep meeting these women here in Los Angeles. There are people that are aging and are furious about it, right? So they get a lot of work done. They get plastic surgery. Have you heard Dana Gould's joke? I think it's on his new album about, he said plastic surgery, the purpose of plastic surgery is to make you better looking. And he said if he had ever seen someone where that was actually the case, he would say, yeah, totally do it. But it's never worked for anyone.
Well, I'm always thinking those are the people who got bad plastic surgery. Like, if you look at Jennifer Aniston, she's our age.
And she's had plastic surgery?
She's had whatever you do subtly, she's had done. And she looks amazing. It's great. But she hasn't had violent cuts to her face.
Okay, so my dad told me that he got LASIK. And when they did his cataracts, he's 83.
Okay.
He also got LASIK. And so that's why he doesn't like the art on the dad stuff. He's like, you don't know wearing those glasses anymore. I'm like, stop talking.
The glasses are
And,
great.
yeah, the glasses are great. Anyway, so, but he said, he told me, I talked to him the other day and he was like, yeah, I'm going back in. They're going to get rid of these bags under my eyes. And I said,
What?
The VA is going to get rid of the bags under your eyes? That's cosmetic. And he goes, oh yeah, but I'm having a hard time seeing. And then there was this long pause. And I go, bullshit.
The bags under your eyes are causing you not to see?
Yeah, I don't
I
believe
can
you.
understand the top, you know?
I don't believe you. And I was like, people are having a hard time getting to heart surgery from the VA, Dad. And he's like, I should hang out more. And I was like, well, that is a stand-up comedy reference. You should hang out more.
Your dad fought in Korea, right?
My dad fought nowhere.
Oh.
Nowhere.
Oh, what?
My father was in the Marine Corps from 1954 to
He
1960.
joined after Korea? Oh,
Yeah.
my God. Hilarious.
He was 17.
brilliant.
He was. My mother got pregnant.
Right.
They got married. It's a very romantic story. And he joined the Navy so that
To get away from her?
to get away from her and to
And the
provide
baby.
for her.
Okay.
And then he became a medic, and because he did not know that the medics that the Marine Corps uses they get them from the Navy, because
Okay.
the Marine Corps is part of the Navy department.
Okay.
And so he was in the Marine Corps, but he was not a Marine for 6 years. And he said, oh, yeah, I was a terrible Marine. If I would have been a Marine, I would have been terrible. Those guys are real tough. And I said, and then he heard about Vietnam, like in 58, 60. And he was like, oh, I will not be re-upping.
Wow.
Yeah. He's like, He said, what, I'm going to go to Vietnam with a big X on my forehead. And I was like, the Red Cross? He was like, yeah, it's a bullseye. I'm
Oh, my
not
God.
a chance in hell. And I was like, okay. Yeah, my father, yeah.
Okay, cool.
When I was a child, he was also a big fan of, if you ever get in a fight, here's what you got to do. Run. And he's like, and if you can't run, distract and then run. And he's like, if you can't distract, try to get a shot in, and then that will be distracting. And then he's like, always run.
Right.
He's a big runner, my dad. Yep. Which is interesting. Because the weird thing about my father is, my dad, they had 6 kids in 10 years.
Jesus.
Yeah. And,
Your poor mom.
oh, the word.
Jesus Christ.
Right. A saint.
So much damage to the body.
So much damage to the...
Seriously.
She didn't have her teeth when she passed.
No.
She was 33. Yeah,
Oh my
34.
God.
I know it.
What happened?
Alcoholism. I don't know. There was trouble.
You know what? My mother's teeth were all pulled when she was 25.
Maybe that was what it was.
I don't
Maybe
know
the 60s were
what
full
the
of that.
fuck those dentists were doing. But
My brother Phil would know.
maybe
He was sentient because remember she passed when I was 7 years old.
because of what was going on in her family. Whatever, I'm sure tooth
Care,
dental maintenance was overlooked completely, right? So maybe her teeth were all jacked up or something.
Yeah.
But to recommend that a young woman have all of her teeth pulled, I would if I could go back in time and find that dentist, I would fucking stab him to death.
Have you
because
thought about
that
bringing-
made my mother so self-conscious
About her-
for, I don't know, the next 60 years
Yeah.
about her teeth and her
Yeah.
mouth.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
If you could bring that guy from Outlander, the evil guy who played Prince Philip,
Jack Randall.
back in time
Tobias
to
Menzies.
meet that dentist.
And he would
rape
him.
And then
Yes.
then he would murder him.
Jackie, I'm getting aroused again.
Exactly. Too much info. We're at 58. You
That
can't.
would have been a great outro, but
That
oh well,
would've been
we're
the-
still here.
We're still here, you guys.
Dental rape. You can't
I'm
have
gonna have
enough
some
of it.
water.
Yeah.
Oh,
So aging, it's
was-
something to deal with. But I also don't want to be like the 10th comic in my 50s complaining about it in a row.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
If I start working with all, like, you ever see a show where it's like, I know too many people? Like, oh no, we're all going to have the same premises.
So I was on Facebook the other day, and Jay Wendell Walker was talking about how he's starting a podcast. Do you know who Jay Wendell Walker is?
Is he a Seattle guy?
He's a Seattle guy.
Yes,
he's
I do know
in
him.
his 90s. He was on
No.
Ed Sullivan. He was on
What?
Ed Sullivan.
Of course he's got to start a podcast. You got to get those memories down.
Yeah. And
Wow.
him and somebody who looks like he's in his 50s, his younger friend.
Yeah.
They're starting a podcast. Jay Wendell Walker. I gotta find it.
That's cool.
I might try to listen to an actual podcast. You guys are all podcast listeners. Why don't you listen to Jay Wendell Walker's podcast? Tell me what it was like.
Also, if you guys wouldn't mind doing liking us, right?
Oh, on
and writing a
iTunes?
review on iTunes.
Yeah. Did you check?
The
Have you
few
ever checked?
podcasts I do listen to, they always encourage people to do that. And I'm
Oh,
like, we
yeah.
haven't mentioned it in 4 years.
Guys.
But it would help.
And I went to JackieandLaurieShow.com because there was some problem with if you don't type in the www, it doesn't go to the JackieandLaurieShow.com.
Oh my God.
So if you just type JackieandLaurieShow.com, it says error. But if you type in the 3 W's, it goes
That's
to the right
stupid.
thing. Yeah. And you have enough notebooks? Because I did post for people to buy.
Oh, I have.
Somebody
I have
asked me.
some.
Somebody asked me if I was bringing them to Dayton, and I have 50 pounds of Squish T-shirts and Dad T-shirts I'm bringing.
Can you bring one for that person?
I could.
Ask what color they want?
I could bring one of each color, I suppose.
No, just bring one.
Okay. Maybe that'll happen. Whatever.
Whatever.
Did you sign any of the ones that I gave you
No, I sign them as they get sold.
as they get sold?
Yeah.
Well, if I bring this one for this person, will you sign it for her?
I'll do it right now.
We could do it right now. Guess
Okay.
what?
Bye.
We've gone over.
MaximumFun.org.
Comedy and culture.
Artist owned.
Audience supported.